Hi guys, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I know it's been a minute. I've been gone, but I promise I've been busy, okay? So there's been a lot going on. Life has been moving, okay? And I wanted to come and kind of give you guys just a 1 month update. So in all honesty, it has been a little bit more than a month. I just wanted to kind of come on and just share my experience for the first about like I'll say 6 weeks, a month to 6 weeks. I wanted to share my experience and just kind of tell you guys what it's been like, because it's been a journey. Okay, first thing I want to talk about is just adjusting to the job. For me, I'm still adjusting, because I think one thing that happens is that you have the teacher work days before, and like you're going through it and you're like preparing, but you don't really know what you're preparing for as a first year teacher. Like, people can tell you what it's going to be like, but you don't really know what you're preparing for until you actually get into it. So you're like doing these things and you're like, I think I should do this to prepare and all this other stuff, right? And then the first day comes, and once the first day comes, it's just you hit the ground running, you know? So to me, this position is more, rather than preparation, it's more on the job training. Like, every day you're being trained on what you should be doing. Like, every single day, every time you think you may have gone it, no, there's something new. There's something, like, always there's something to learn. There's always something that you should be doing that you're not doing. So all of those teacher work days in the beginning, I mean, they were helpful for what they were, but the real training, the real help came each day on the job. Like, as I was teaching, I'm like, oh, in the moment, maybe I should do this differently, or oh, that's not working, let's try something else. So it's definitely been a journey, but I would say I'm still adjusting to the job. I'm definitely still adjusting, and I think I'm still going to be adjusting month 6, month 8, second year. Like, I'm still adjusting, and I think it's okay to be still adjusting, because there's always something that you can learn. So that's the one thing. The other thing I wanted to talk about is work-life balance, because I'm just gonna say I don't really have any. Like, the reason I've been gone so long from YouTube is because I've been, every day I go to school, I teach or whatever, and then I stay and I do some work, and then I come home and I do more work, whether it's lesson plans or things for meetings. Like, the work does not stop, so you have to make it stop. That is something that I'm learning. Haven't been doing it yet, but something that I'm learning. The work does not stop, so you have to make it stop. You have to put the pause on it and be like, okay, that's enough. I'm gonna take a break now. I'm gonna go to sleep because it's 2 a.m. So I definitely think that's something that I really need to work on, is just finding the balance. Finding the balance of, okay, that's enough. Maybe you should go to bed. You know, maybe you should not be still making lesson plans. I think another thing that has to do with it is just seeing other teachers who have been in this for years, who are veterans, and how put together they seem. I think for me that has been one of the biggest struggles, is just not having myself together, and then see teachers who are like, not necessarily have everything together, but just they have more together, and they look like, even though they might be like not having things together, they still look like they have it together, if that makes sense. So that has definitely been hard for me. It's just like, okay, you have to sit in this discomfort and realize that it's okay that you don't have it all together. You've only been doing, and like, people keep having to remind me, I keep having to remind myself, like, you've only been doing this for like a month, okay? It's been a month and some change. You've only been doing this for a month. You're not gonna have it all together. And it's really like hard to grasp that and to grapple with that, geez, like, I can't just go in and automatically like be great and be wonderful. No, like, there's always something that's like, oh gosh, I have to do this and I have to do this. And one thing I will say is I have a newfound respect. Okay, obviously I have a respect for it because it's my job, but I have a newfound respect because the amount of things that teachers have to juggle is mad. It's mad. Like it's so many jobs into one job. It's not just the standing in front of students and teaching. It's all of the behind the scenes work and the preparation that goes into it. That is mad. It's the administrative work, like the parenting, the counseling work, the talking off of a ledge work, like every single day. And you have to go in with the mindset every single day that it's a new day, no matter what, because it's gonna be stuff that is like, bro, like, oh my goodness, it's just you have to really reset yourself and be like, okay, what happened yesterday was yesterday. We're gonna try this again. We're gonna have a new day. We're gonna have a good day. Like every single day, you have to kind of ease yourself into it, because you cannot bring stuff from the previous day into today. It just won't work. So there's a lot of things that you have to juggle, and a lot of things that you have to get used to, and a lot of procedures, and especially depending on your area, your state, your county, wherever, your district, depending on the requirements that they have there, there's a lot of things that you have to learn, that you have to become aware of, whether that's disciplinary, whether that's administrative as far as grades and contact information and different things. Like there's so many nuances that you have to learn, and you're not gonna know them all. You're gonna make mistakes, and people are gonna be like, oh, next time you should do this, and next time you should do this, and you just have to be like, yeah, okay, you're right. I really didn't know. Thank you for telling me, and next time I'll try to be better. And next time comes and you still might make a mistake. You still might not do it right. But again, you have to take this day by day, okay? So I think those are just like overviews of the things, but also I want us to kind of go a little bit in depth. I have my notebook so I don't forget anything. I probably still will, but I have my notebook. So I think going into it, as I said, you're on the job training, so you're literally just learning as you go. And I think one of the main things is that you don't know what you don't know. And that's just as simply as I can put it. You do not know what questions to ask, because it's stuff that you would never think of that's involved, and you don't know to ask about it. Like there's so many things, like when it comes to lesson plans, when it comes to the different platforms that we use, when it comes to small groups, when it comes to putting in grades, when it comes to assigning tests, because now things are half on paper, half virtual. And it's especially in my grade where I teach third grade, so now the students have not been testing previously, are now starting to test, which is a whole different ballgame, because they're not used to being tested, and you have to teach them the testing procedures while they're being tested every single day. So for the first month, we were testing like at least 2 tests every week. I mean, we were testing so much, and it was draining for the children. It was draining for us trying to, first I had to learn how to administer tests because I'd never done this before. And I think that's another thing, coming in through TFA was also very different as well, because there was no education background. There was no education degree. It was just, we had practicum, and then that was it. Like, we're just put into it. So it's like each day that I have is one more day added to my experience. There's no, 4 years of a degree and then these 5 weeks. No, it's just these 5 weeks that I've had in education. So learning the different things, like how to administer a test and what invalidates a test versus what is allowed. And then also, it's like things never go to plan. So even in learning those things and shadowing other people, sometimes I didn't get to shadow because it turns out that I actually had to administer the test because things don't go to plan. So just being in the midst of everything and just seeing that discomfort, that you're just literally like, here I am, let's just go wherever the wind blows, because you have to flow with the punches. That's why I think for sure the one thing that's really getting me through is having a good team. I didn't realize how important it was to have like a good team on your side until I got into this, because normally I'm more of an independent worker, like I'll get my stuff done myself. But again, going into this, you don't know what you don't know. So if you don't know what you don't know, you don't know what to ask for. Thankfully, I had someone on my team who was very, very like open and helpful and giving to like all the information that she has and everything that she knows to share and everything. So it made it to where it's like, oh, because you provided me this information, now I can ask a question that can help me clarify. So it was a bunch of instances that I didn't even know what I needed to ask. I didn't even know that I was being ignorant in the situation because I'm just not familiar with this world. And her providing me information, her letting me know different things, showed me, oh, this is the question, this is the track that I can now guide my questions on. So I have my team lead. Okay, so I work at a very small school, so we only have 2 third grade teachers, which is another thing that's like, ugh, because there's not a big team, and because there's not a lot of people, the pressure is greater on each individual person. And in my district, our goals for this year are, of course, for 3rd grade, and they're very steep and they're very like on it. So in the beginning of the year when they were saying the goals, I was like, oh goodness, like I've never taught before and now I have to make 20% growth in a year. So it was that type of thing that where it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so my team really had to be really tight knit. The TFA support and everything that I've received since being in. So since the school year has started, I've had 2 visits for my coach, and we've also had 2 visits for my coach and 2 other meetings outside of school to just talk and chat. I really feel like my coach is very open. She's very like makes herself available so that we can talk or anything like that. She's always like, yeah, if you have a problem, just shoot me a text. And she's very helpful with her feedback. So I will say I'm very grateful for that. Because of the school that I'm at, and I'm going to get into talking about my school a little bit more, but because of the school that I'm at, my school is a coaching school. So right now I have a team lead, I have a coach at my school, I have a mentor at my school, and I also have a TFA coach. So I have four people who are like around me, supporting me. So it's really good support, but it does feel like a lot sometimes, but in the best way possible, because there's like my mentor, she's very good with like the emotional thing of just like talking, be like, how are you, whatever like that. My coach is at my school. I see her and interact with her probably the most because we meet twice a week for math planning, ELA planning, because I am self-contained. So math planning and ELA planning, I see her at least 2 times a week, but most of the time more, because she's always on the hall, coming in and out of the classrooms, everything like that. So I probably see her the most. And then I have my TFA coach, who I told you I've seen 2 times in the classroom. She's come to visit my class, and then 2 times outside just to have like a conversation. I would definitely say that like with all of that help, I'm definitely able to figure out what I need to do and figure out how I can do it. With the help, there does come a lot of input as far as different ways to do it, but to do things, so I kind of have to like sift through and see what can work best for me. But it is helpful because, again, I don't know what I don't know, so there's always other options out there that I can end up trying to implement and see if it works better for me. So I did want to talk about that because I do go to a coaching school and I do work at a coaching school, so therefore there is a bit more of like a wraparound support. So that does like kind of factor into my experience as well.